Not saying it's going to be the easiest with a Weaver.
I'm just thinking about how the lane. I'm just thinking about how the lanes are going to work, right? And that I think Secret is setting up. Secret just has so many more options. It feels like to the lanes for me.
This is always the issue. I'd say there's a fair statement to be made when you talked about Weaver earlier, right? It's an example of Secret being definitely top 3 when it comes to most flexible teams in terms of what they can play and where they can play. Actually, I'd say, given especially the things that YapzOr does with Luna support and Terrorblade support, probably the most flexible team.
How did you not ban this hero? Come on, Send. Man. Okay, like I 100%, if I saw this coming, Trolls saw this coming. Like, there's just no way. He's maybe the brightest analyst I've worked with. And I just don't think you have an. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the startup pick does give you what you need to deal with it. You know, if you strip off, in theory, if you strip off Gravekeepers, you know, the hero does feel very squishy, but I just think you're going to get. I think you're going to get destroyed in lanes as Kaban. I really do.
That's the thing. What was the prioritization? I mean, they get rid of the Terrorblade, which is sure an obvious choice if you're not certain of anything else. The Morphling at the same time did cause huge issues for Kaban last game. With a similar lineup.
Come on, man. They're not picking Ursa there. I get upset with Sin because I hold him to a higher standard. I really do. The guy is actually, like, you know, we all like to flame him because he's fun to flame, but he is actually tremendously bright. But this draft is not showcasing it.
It feels like he's just focusing everything on protecting the Lifestealer pick right now, right? By getting rid of the TB, the Morphling, and the Ursa.
Yeah, but that's the classic sort of draft trap. Is you get, you know, you kind of get seduced by the new hotness. Lifestealer in this patch, it's going to be a thing. He's going to be a great hero. I don't care. Single core Lifestealer is always going to suck. Period.
No, it's a fair point.
Like, you better have something in your pool at mid that is really going to give you some scalability. But I don't think you can pick a Medusa at this point.
Well, it depends how badly you want to die. I mean, everyone else will die. The Medusa will live. But yeah, the thing that I'm seeing right now is they have gone for this kind of focused on one hero aspect. And it's become very obvious the secret. So they just play around that. They create a lineup that can exploit the other lanes if need be. Sure, maybe you don't beat Lifesteal on lane definitively, but you can easily win the other 2 lanes. And, well, most of the time when you win 2 lanes, you look pretty kosher going into the mid game.
Yeah, it's surprising to me because one of the things that you've seen with these Synderen teams, right? And he hasn't had the success at the highest levels of Dota that Puppy's had, but he's taken multiple teams that were kind of at the time rando stacks and captained them to TI through the qualifiers. And mostly it's because his drafts always make sense. They're always sort of structured around the current meta in such a way that they're going to be easy to execute and very, very stable. And the first couple of drafts here in this series, they haven't been that. They really haven't.
And then Secret, they're going to round out with the Phantom Assassin, which does counter out the Tusk Grimstroke for the most.
Yeah.
You have that Phantom Strike to escape on the wave. So Kaban are going to be very limited at the points at which they can try and kill the Phantom Assassin. It's going to be based usually around when the creeps are coming in. At the same time, this could just be Nisha running mid on the PA. Likely in the safe lane, though.
I think it's... I mean, that's kind of... I think it depends entirely on the last pick. And that's why I thought this Visage pick was just so incredibly disgusting here for Secret, is that if it is in a tri-lane, you have a Visage Undying Rubik tri-lane, good luck. Good luck. And if it's mid, you've got 2 players that are just amazing 1v1 at this hero. All right. I don't think it's going to work, but that is really interesting. And that gives them a shot.
Yeah, so you look at this from the perspective that Nisha now has to rush that Battle Fury as fast as possible to deal with the Brood, because no one else really will be able to. And that is going to be
the real question, right, is is it gonna destroy the Visage mid? Because the Brood immediately takes the, you're not gonna put PA mid against a Brood. You know, you can't. And that now, the trick is you have to then isolate Visage against a hero 1v1 that can beat it. And with mid one or Nisha, frankly, playing Visage, there aren't too many heroes that are going to give it that much trouble 1v1. I haven't seen a Visage Brood lane in a long time. So the question is Nine the kind of Brood player that's going to be able to own that lane against the Visage? If he is, this draft by Kaban could do some damage here.
Yeah, the thing is,
it's entirely on that lane. It really is.
You have to force him out of lane as well. That's the difference for a hero like Visage. Is it doesn't necessarily need gold as much as it needs XP in that scenario,
no,
right?
It needs gold. It needs no.
Yeah, in this, like, but this is different, right? You were talking about the tri-lane example. The Helmet Dominator is a fair shout. Yeah. But when you're stuck mid, your expectation is never to win the lane as a Visage. It's to get a quick 6.
No. These days, Visage needs that HOD timing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he's mid the side lanes, because he needs to be a tower threat. He needs to be a push threat. Right? I mean, he needs to be putting pressure on your tower when he hits that level 6. And if he's behind in gold when he hits that level 6, the birds alone, it's obviously contextual, it's obviously lineup dependent, but I still think that HOD timing is critical.
Might be able to get it as well if they're going to sneak this one through. Mid one has walked up to the top lane, and it looks like Nisha will be mid. He's going for this double stout build.
Yeah. Okay. So what are we gonna do here? Are we really gonna like super sack Nisha here?
He does start with 5 armor. It's not a terrible scenario. It's not the same as a TB that can handle it with, you know, his huge amounts of armor plus double stout. You will feel it a little bit, but you should still be able to CS. And this does enable him to still do the tri-lane scenario. And at the same time,
well,
this is probably unexpected.
It enables them to do the tri-lane scenario, but the absolutely ideal thing, if you're the side of Kaban, is that you just leave the top lane open. Once you see this tri-lane, Sardar's like, all right, well, whatever. I'm gonna just go do things. I mean, because he's not getting anywhere near this lane, but that's fine, because then you're in position to win 2 out of 3 lanes.
They can actually do it.
And you're happy with that.
Who's going to win on this block right now?
Yeah, look at this right away. I think Secrets recognize that, and Secrets recognize that they need to transition out and do dual lanes. I got to say, all right, Sin, this is, bravo, Sin, because this Brood pick really reset the draft.
We'll see how it goes. Nisha did get a decent block on the first wave. He's missing a few CS, but wondering how you want to go on this. So if you go for the double Wraith ban, I'm not sure how well you do, but what's your alternative choice? I mean, is there any early item that a PA could go here that will allow her to contest the Brood? I don't think there is.
No, not after a certain point. I mean, what Nisha needs to do is exactly what he's doing, and that's do as well as he can in the first couple of waves and just maximize the amount of time that he's going to be able to stand in this lane.
It's working pretty well so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely great.
I mean, in fairness, it is a 10 damage advantage. Playing a little bit of piggy volleyball between the two of them in the meantime. Meanwhile, Puppy is just keeping 2 people busy under the tower.
Yeah, classic Puppy.
It hurts, but not that badly. It's kind of the power of the Undying. The Tusk Slardar combo is pretty brutal, but not against an Undying. You're 2 strength heroes for a start. And you're both
right,
busy.
Exactly. I mean, he's always going to be getting double decay stacks. That's the big thing.
On the bot lane, how's it looking? Pretty even between the two. This is actually going really well for Secret. The PA, especially in that mid lane.
Well, I think it's one of the big errors that I see some players make is you're in a lane where you're a little bit scared and you know you're going to be at a disadvantage, and you play overly passive from the get-go. Like, obviously, PA is going to get, at some point in this lane, is going to get eaten. Okay? But the point is that Nisha plays as aggressively as he can. He's not afraid to give up that first death in exchange for just maximizing his time in this lane. But now that Brood has the Soul Ring in level 3, I think he's really going to start to struggle.
Bot lane, going forward on Cinderin. They'll be able to get the first blood as Yapsor gets the final tap. Skidder trying to turn around to Yapsor, but
no rebuttal
can't do enough. Actually, Skidder's going to take a lot of damage. He needs to back up.
Careful. Yeah.
Yeah, that Blightstone start on Weaver does hurt a lot. And meanwhile, Tusk in the top lane going to go down.
Wow.
And that's no points in Soul Assumption, by the way. That's just double points into the Grave Chill.
Yeah, and just unforced errors here in the side lane coming out from Kaban.
Maybe they're feeling a little bit pressure, like they need to do something, which is fair, because right now, both the Visage and the Phantom Assassin are having a fantastic start to this game. In fact, even Zai, getting that first blood, did pay up in dividends. He's going to go and deny himself to the tier 2. They might know about this, but Cinderon's going to be too late to get XP out of it.
Yeah, quit feeding in the side lanes, guys. I really want to see this. I want to see this mid matchup, and I want to see how this draft plays out. Oh, Zai was laying in wait for the courier there.
Yeah, he couldn't quite find it.
The tower. Yeah,
it was taking too long. He suspected it was coming out. He's reading the timing perfectly, but it was on the high ground. And I don't think he would have got it with 2 hits. No, it would have taken a 3rd hit.
All right, this is where you really expect 9 to start putting on the pressure, but doesn't really go for anything. Meanwhile, in the top lane, little trouble for Puppy.
Oh, yep. Gonna get trapped in. Goes to the Soul to try and heal up. Is it too late? The bash comes out. Nope. It's gonna wand up. It's gonna be fine. Biber's gonna be slowed down.
Double melee lane, baby.
Stops them in their tracks, and Puppy will be able to TP back to base while dancing. The victory dance of a man who lives. Keep checking on this mid lane. That's the most interesting thing to watch right now, is how this is going to escalate and how quickly.
I mean, that's the thing that Nisha has really, because he got such a good start. Oh, that's what you needed.
Oh, Visage goes down, and so does Lifestealer. Now in a little bit of trouble. Cinderin gets some of the tower before more happens. Both the safe laners dying here. Somewhat unexpectedly there. You don't expect the Visage to get caught out like that, but the ice shards were leveled.
I mean, Lifestealer, I think the
Zai's diving. Zai's in trouble. He's going to go down. They do actually get him, and return Yapsor will claim a kill, but he'll give his life over for it. Biberg became pretty scary. He did go for the 2 points into the tag team.
Yeah.
Just in time for the
nice
rings.
Trade. Nice trade. Now, what I meant to say there, I think Visage dying is actually bigger because, again, the importance of that early level and HOD timing.
True. He's making decent progress. He's got the Bassi. He's got these boots.
I guess I may have just been straight up wrong about this lane. I thought Nisha was going to get forced out of lane way, way earlier than this, but he appears to be doing just fine.
I think it's just too problematic because of the trade that occurs, right? You aren't going to be leveling into your incapacitating bite early, which makes it very hard to kill Nisha, and it has similar issues to the scenario that I was talking about in the draft with, like, Tusk, right? Where you just Phantom Strike away. So, worst case scenario, 9 can only kill you half the time.
And I think it's just a really smart adjustment by Nisha to just go no boots, double stout, double Wraithband quelling.
And 2 points in Blur as well. He's only got 1 in Phantom Strike.
It's just a couple of again, it's just about maximizing the amount of time that you can stay in lane, and a couple of adjustments here really do affect that calculus. I mean, look at the evade.
Feeling pretty good. Actually, while there is a slight lead for 9, it's not to the extent that you think. It is 500 gold because while Nisha is close in terms of CS, keep in mind a lot of that is inflated through the spiders occasionally.
The spiderlings, right. And the other part about that too is that deny advantage of the Brood used to be a level advantage, which is a much bigger deal at this point than the gold that it is now.
Weaver taking a lot of damage.
Looks like he's going down.
Almost disappears in the blink of an eye with the rotation. Yep. Pays off. I'll even farm up the swarm on the way out.
Yeah, they're just recognizing that Visage being level 6 means that they're no longer going to have the kind of potential in that top lane. So they rotate down to the pure tri lane on the bottom, get a kill while doing so. Talked about the importance of that in the last game.
And Phobos is pretty safe up here. 1 point sprint is usually enough to run away from these guys. And if they jump you too hard, you got the crush to escape.
Yeah, they got to be so thrilled about what they're going to give from Nisha in this game. His tower has taken less than 200 damage.
Brood just cutting the creep wave. Meanwhile, TP's up to the top. Kaban want to stop this push because Secret are trying to take the tower. The lift's going to come up. The tombstone down. Snowball Buys him a little bit of time, but he's going to roll further away from his teammates. When he comes out, they're waiting. Viper tries the ice shards to escape, but it's too late.
Shards. Okay.
And, oh, Cinderin did deny the tower at least.
Nice.
Get something out of it. They still lose one hero, but they do make sure there isn't additional gold leaking into the hands of Secret.
Yeah, and this is where, okay. So it just happened way later than I expected. This is where Brood is just going to start to spiral out of control, right? Because she can exploit those webs. She can do the high ground camps, threaten the mid tower. But Nisha is going to be able to... He's sort of letting Nisha stay in this lane. And even if he doesn't, right, PA is still able to go do the jungle with Blur.
Oh,
now, they do feel compelled to address the top lane push.
Yeah, mid one, getting low. Should be able to burn for him, but the bird's going to keep him up. And he's live. He's trying to run off, but it's too late. They spit a few spiders at him. And he hatches some new babies for 9.
Yeah, nice rotation over. And this is where, you know, good web placement by 9, enabling him to just control broad areas of the map.
And they don't have to worry about bot either. Zai is struggling to exist in the lane against Skidder. He can't harass him out, and he can't trade effectively anymore due to the phase boots being on Skidder. It's interesting compared to what we've seen.
Really nice.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of treads at the moment when we do see the lifestealer because of the changes. But this is still fine. This hero has flexibility in regards to those items.
And after all that talk, right, this Vlad's choice by mid 1 is quite revealing about how Secret want to approach this game. You know, this is not a game where Visage is going to be out. At least, if my read is right, it's not a game where he's going to be spending a lot of time pushing lanes by himself, right? Secret is setting up for a rotation here to try to catch somebody if they contest this tower.
I mean, it's not just that as well. Keep in mind, you'd be building a Helmet Dominator against a Lifestealer.
True. That's a good point.
Instead, Vlad's some more safe option, something every team needs anyway, and who else would really build it on this team? The Visage is only the one that can. Like, you know, you're not going to see it on a Weaver. That seems a bit absurd. We've seen PAs sidestep into that, but you want that Battle Fury as quickly as possible.
I think as Kaban, though, you got to be disappointed that this mid tier 1 tower is still on half health.
True. And every time he just tries to aggress Nisha, there's just a few too many evades coming out.
Yeah. There you go. This is what Brood's supposed to do, but this is supposed to have happened 3 minutes earlier.
He finally achieves it. Meanwhile, Weaver is going to get caught out here. Zai's still so close, yet feeling so far from level 6. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, mid 1 never stopped pushing.
Nope.
Why would he?
He's saying, okay, your Brood's going to push our mid lane, but...
Oh, they do get mid 1 low. He's going to try and get rid of the Phantom's Embrace. He will get it off. Cinderin needs to back up here. Yapsor has arrived to assist. They can't connect.
Yeah, how many points in Phantom is that? Okay, that's only 1 Phantom, so he doesn't die to Rend there, but that's still kind of scary.
It's getting pretty low. This is where those birds can backfire against the Grimstroke. The Stroke of Fate adds up as it goes through more targets. Mid 1 needs to just get out of here.
Collecting that nice 150 gold from a tombstone on a support feels good, man.
The rest of his team zoning out Secret, making sure they're not lingering around. Mid 1 did manage to eat through the trees to escape because he didn't have a TP on him. A nice eye shot still by Yapsor to make sure no one can pursue. Skidder he's doing it again. Midas into Radiance.
Oh boy.
I don't think, like, this game feels even rougher to do it than last because you're up against the PA who you know is going to go for a Battle Fury. So she will farm just as rapidly. And you'll get an advantage at first, sure, but it's going to backfire quickly.
Yeah, she farms pretty well without the Battle Fury. Now they probably will get a kill on Biber here as they get the bird drop stun.
They do trap him in. The double bracer won't protect him. Ice shots is trying to escape, but the Fade Bolt ensures his fate.
Whether or not you're going to get a rebuttal here is the interesting part, because if Brood gets Visage here, you're feeling all right about this.
He will be able to. We'll run him down. Picked up the defusal, so 9 is pretty spooky now. They'll just try and escape with the birds and everyone else. Well, birds and Corey included, actually, because that was...
Good read, though, by Zai and Nisha. They realize Brood is rotated down bottom. She's kind of out of... She didn't have that nice direct web path.
By the way, it's a good
thing. So they
thing.
get some good tower damage.
It's a good thing that Corey didn't get spotted, by the way, because mid one has components waiting on it. And now Nisha does as well. It's got a lot of net worth value on it. The mid one, he's getting close. Just needs to finish up the ring health. He's going back for the Helmet Dominate now. I think it's fine at this point, especially if you've identified the way that the skitter wants to play this game is more passive. Then you can try and stage that aggression and force him into fight.
Well, I think your point about HOD against the lifestealer was a really good one. That's something obvious that I just overlooked, that it loses a lot of value as a first item.
I mean, it should have been obvious, Haas. You want to know why? It's skitter lifestealer. There was always going to be a Midas coming out.
Wow, this is true. It's also 6:30 a.m. Anyway.
No, it's not. What are you talking about? It's 11:30 and 12:30.
EU lol.
This is EU. Mid one now does have that helm. Just needs to find a creep before he'll get eaten.
Yeah. You look up and you got to be pretty happy with the game state as Kaban, even with your brood not having taken over. You're not in a situation in this game where losing your safe lane towers is crippling.
Sure, you have to keep in mind the state of the game and the way this plays out as well. It's not like you're wholly reliant on a brood taking over the game, right? You've got this lifestealer, you've got this Slardar. Right. You have the means to find kills and push into the late game.
Well, and you have really quick Roach too. That's going to be, I think, a big factor in that. All of a sudden, as opposed to the Ursa on the board last game for Secret, this lifestealer should get Aegis. Zai's in a little bit of trouble down here on the bottom lane.
They're gonna find him. They're caught out. Not able to escape at all. His teammates nowhere in the neighborhood. Zai just desperately trying to find anything out of this map.
Well, and kind of a mirror image of the last game. 5 deaths here in the first 15 minutes this time.
You mentioned the Roche potential for Kaban. It should be pointed out that actually Secret has a lot as well. Once Nisha gets online, has the Desolator, it melts incredibly quickly. The point is that Kaban can get in sooner.
Right, exactly. And I think the first Aegis in this game is a pretty big asset. That's a DD rune on mid one.
He's had it for a while. Just using it to farm and scare away the big spider lady. Although she'll just move over to your jungle again. And this is the thing. She's taking over this area. Not many heroes at 50 minutes in can invade this area. But they can. They can find kills on the side. He is not respecting them. And he's paying for it. He needs to keep in mind how much he gets screwed over by these Phantoms Embraces. Second time he's been caught out by them in the last minute.
Yeah, and Yapsor does get max duration rage, but I don't think that they're in a great position to use that in the next few minutes. Especially with the blink coming online for the DK Phobos Slardar.
They go for it after getting the Helmet Dominator. A lot of potential to fight now.
Yeah, DK Phobos, by the way, really underrated as a CIS offlaner. He has been good for a long time, but he's also seen other names from the region like Mag and like Pasha get a lot more press. This guy can play, though. And he's a pretty darn good brood player in his own right.
Yeah, I remember Cinnamon saying that he was actually pretty excited to see what Phobos could do. Looking forward to actually playing with him. Definitely got a lot of potential. There was a lot of hype a few years back around some associations he was having, but it never really went anywhere. Now, mid lane 9, they lock him in and do anything.
There's just no way.
They need to be careful. They got the lift, they're baiting him in. He went a little bit too deep. Nisha arrives with the Battle Fury online. The cleaves through us enough for the Soul Assumption to finish him off, and Nisha does get the kill.
It's a little bit surprising there that he was kind of not aware of the Rubik being off map, because if he doesn't get lifted there, I think he gets out perfectly fine. And Secret are going to take full advantage of this.
Yeah, moving in the Roche pit, secure it before your opponents can. And I mean, what better value of a Battle Fury reveal than cleaning up all those spiders as well?
Sure.
Especially if it secures you Roche afterwards. Cinderin trying to slow us down, knowing there's a lot of them in the pit. They're actually hesitating. They want to find some kills. Slivering Crush coming in. No, Weaver. Zaya's going to go down. He gets found again. Fiverr being slowed down. Already using the snowball as well. The birds can go over the ice shards, though. They don't care. They'll stun him up, slow him down. Task will be the sacrificial lamb.
Decent shard block, though. It really removes any kill threat on the lifestealer, and now Brood's going to be back up. The Roche attempt feels that much more awkward here for Secret. So I'd say that rotation paid off. You traded Tusk for another kill on the Weaver, and you stopped that Roche.
Weaver, tear in his eye right now. Zai cannot find anything in this game. I mean, every time we check in, not much has changed. Still got the treads. He's almost got his hands on the Dragonlance now.
You know, and here's the good question, right? Can Secret do anything about this with Puppy's ult down?
Not sure if they can. I mean, well, they have got the Tombstone. But it's almost done. If they want to go, it has to be now. Biver's trying to slow us down with the Wolf's Punch coming out. Soulbind is going to be on the 2. Link's mid 1 to his own birds, and they've almost finished Roche. They need to get in the pit right now if they want to at all. Nisha going in, looking for the kill on Cinderin. We'll get him low. They're desperately trying to finish this Roche, but no, they've come down. Fateful. No, 9. He snatches the Aegis. They didn't get the foul hit onto the Roche, and now they're going to surrender it over. Aegis down. Skidder almost dying. Needs to run for the high hills. He's not prepped to fight. He's prepped to farm. And they're going to farm him. 9 going to try and move away, but being slowed down a little bit too much. Tried to skirt them out, but he's going to die for the second time. And, well, you might have got your hands on the Aegis, but you're going to lose a lot for it.
Well, and the two big cores of Kaban just kept hitting Roche.
They're not done yet. They want more. They're going to hunt on the Cinderin as well. He will fall. Nisha with the big crits. And that's the difference, right? That's the thing we see from a lot of these big tier 1 teams. Is if you watch around a Roche engagement, the moment they see their opponents probing, they punish it. They don't continue roaching.
You know, you have to react there. That's an Undying with his ult down. He is, you know, he's a very fragile 1200 health hero with all these decay stacks. But now you're in a lot of trouble. I was absolutely shocked there that both the Lifestealer and the Broodmother just kept hitting Roche.
Skittle will just use his Midas. Says, I'm almost at Radiance, guys. I'm not sure how much of our base will be left when I have it. Maybe something.
Very little
they're going to
Skittle about this at this point.
If he got crit once, he probably would have died there. That's pretty lucky for him. Nisha will work at the racks instead of working at the heroes. They can't go for a second lane because the tier 2s are still up.
Yeah, and this is the power of Visage. This is why I think they should have banned that hero. You know, you get one big mid-game win like that, and Vlad's HOD Medallion, he just takes your base so fast.
It's going to be more than Medallion now. He's got the gold for the Solar Crest. Suddenly, this Lifestealer is going to feel like paper. A big stack of paper, but paper nonetheless.
He really is. And again, you look at, because of that death, you look at the progression now, and he's still short of his Radiance.
Getting close, especially with the D-wards.
I talked about in the last game that I think it was not fair to second guess the Midas Radiance in the last game because he was so far ahead. He did think he had that kind of a cushion. You can't do that in this game, though. You know the strat that you're playing against. You know how quickly they can take your action.
Inkswell and Inkswell. Double stun's going to come out. Yap switching full, and Puppy trying to buy enough time for his team to arrive, and it might actually achieve the goal as Zai is now in the lane. Cinder will go for the TP away. Can they do enough damage? Going to be close, but no, the Shikuchi doesn't finish him. Biver hasn't got a TP, though, and they'll realize that very quickly. Dagger's going to come out to slow him down. Nisha will leave the kill for Zai. Snowball comes out. Tuff's just trying to delay his death.
That is also the power of that flat health bonus of the Undying ult now, is that all of a sudden you're going on Undying, you know that that's a low armor hero, even though he's got the casual buckler, which I quite like in this game. But all of a sudden he pops that ult, he's got 400 extra health, he's going to get the K stacks coming in, and you have to worry about a reprisal.
I mean, you say you love that buckler as Puppy. When does he not build a buckler?
Absolutely, sure.
Kind of become his signature thing in the last year or so.
Year or so? Oh, I think it's been longer than that.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think people appreciate it as much in the past.
Fair enough.
I mean, you think back to the good old days where you'd have heroes that were built into items that use the buckler very easily. You do now with the Crimson Guard, but still. And
look at this, and Skittish still is going into this mana style just undeterred. Yeah, that's a whole lot of gold tied up in items that are not going to help you in these fights right now.
Becoming a problem. BKB is almost ready for 9. But the problem is, it's not magic damage you're dealing with as much as it is physical. When you think of the Weaver, the PA, and the Visage, they're bursting you down through physical, not through magic.
Yeah, and you have a Vlad's on your 4-position Tusk, so DK Phobos is going to build into Crimson Guard as his next item. He is set up here with Lifestealer inside him. This is something that we just haven't seen yet. You know, are we going to be able to get a great initiation here on top of, unfortunately, if you had the Lifestealer initiation in Brood Hatter BKB, I think you'd be in business. As things are, you still got to play this carefully.
It's okay. Just move Phobos around and let your Lifestealer farm with the Radiance, right? Just sits there and doesn't take the creeps. Problem is, he can't use his Midas while he's in there. And it has been off cooldown for a bit. 9. Lift's going to come onto him. He's trying to get back in the base. He won't be able to do the crits come out. Now Skidder forced to go with the initiation from Phobos. They are zoned out. They can't find anything. Yapsel slowing things down. Won't actually die here. The Crimson Guard protects him. They lose 2. They at least get Skidder back in the base. But for what? Because they are chasing forward right now. They jump in with the Phantom Strike. Skidder. One big crit comes out. He's just going to disappear. In fact, they didn't even get it. They still kill him off. And alongside that, Synderen does fall. And your base now even deeper. Viva being slowed down. The shards on shards. Yapsel with the steals. And Viva's like, what do I do? What do you want from me, team?
2 racks at 25 minutes. I don't think you can really do anything in this game anymore. It's you gotta figure when you see that Weaver in that position, looking like he's alone, that's a bait. That's kind of what Zai is gonna do in this game.
Oh, he's identified how much they want to kill him. And backfires for them. The GG comes out. So Secret Duos, Kaban.
Yeah, a result that I don't think anybody's surprised by. A little bit disappointing. I think that the Game 2 draft obviously was a lot better from Kaban. The Brood pick looked like it could have been inspired. But, you know, I think the little adjustments by Nisha early on that enabled him to stay in lane against that Brood, you know, so that even though that the Brood Mother was looking like she's getting scary, your PA is still getting farmed. She can still do her job. That tier 1 tower survives barely to the 10-minute mark. And those are the kinds of things that, you know, keep the Brood from just having the kind of game impact that you fear from that hero picked in the final position in a draft.
Does mean we have our winner for the first game. We're just checking what's happening with the brackets now.
And by the way, I want to point out, you look at 1, 7, and 9 Zai, who is 11.4k hero damage, about 100 behind Nisha for the overall lead. This is just something that is so underrated, especially as a 3-position hero. The ability to have a rough early game, you're going to get sacked, and still come back and have high impact. That's just something that it's game winning, man. You know, you're 7 out of your team's 12 deaths, and you still, with under 400 GPM, come within 100 damage to that PA.
The credit to Zai. Baits them in, waste a lot of their time, just gave enough for Nisha to keep on farm throughout that whole game, and huge credit to Mid One for actually getting those pushes going so early with the Vlad's build up. I'm just checking the schedule. So Ninjas in Pajamas versus Vega are still playing. Ninjas is 1 game up. Now, I was told by the DreamLeague folks, or one of them, that they are doing Group B. I don't know if they're hopping between Group B and Group A. So
yeah, I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't believe it. Not on the amount of baited we've had in the last few days. I'm going to jump on an assumption that they aren't going to cover Secret versus Nip, but instead will cover, probably at this rate, something like OG versus Liquid or The Real Deal. So what we'll do is we'll say for now, folks, that we're going to do Secret versus Ninjas in Pajamas or Vega, depending on who wins between those two. And go to a short break until the match between Vega and NIP resolves. And then hopefully be back with that next series. So stay tuned.